Morning, everybody. Welcome to yoga. So I think I know most people. My name's Rose, for those who haven't met me before. Welcome to yoga here at Cardinia Life. Whether you're doing this live or you jump in throughout the live class, or you jump in later on and do it at a later stage. I'm a bit croaky, I'm fine, I'm all good. I'm just got a croaky voice, as is part of my life. I do that regularly, get a croaky voice. So it's a bit chilly in here, so I'm starting with my scarf on and socks on. Forgotten my glasses, so I can't really see if anybody's jumped on. Don't think anyone has, but that's okay. So we're going to start on our mat in a seated position. So come to sit with the soles of your feet together and just do a little bit of a rock side to side, just so that you find that comfortable seated position. Hold the soles of your feet, take a big breath in, lift your shoulders as you do so, then drop them down and let your head drop forward and then soften. Take some breaths in, and every breath in is followed by a nice long breath out. Letting your knees fall out just as far as they're comfortable. Just a gentle opening of the hips. Now start to pull your body forward. So this might be far enough for you. You might be able to fold further forward, maybe elbows come in front. Folding as far forward as you can, and when you do, let your head drop. Let's consciously take 3 more big breaths in and out here. Big long breath in, and then let it go through the nose or mouth. And as you let the breath go, feel a really softening feeling throughout your whole body. 2 more like that. Big breath in. Let it go. And 1 more breath in. Let it go. Gently lift yourself back up and just sit again. So a little bit of an intro. This is going to be like a basic slow flow or gentle flow. There'll be a few challenges that you're welcome to take or you're welcome to pause. Please always work with what feels right for you at the moment, at each moment. I'm not playing any music in the background, so if you do want to have some music on, fine, pop some on in the background. Maybe some nice easy tunes, or maybe if you're feeling a bit boppy, I like to have some boppy songs in my classes as well. Not hardcore rock, but yeah, just some kind of those tunes you might listen to in the car as you're cruising along, I find quite often work. So at the start of the class, quite often we're asked to set an intention. So if you'd like to set an intention, by all means go for it. An intention can be anything. It could be just to be on your mat. When I say just, it's in inverted commas. It could be anytime you notice your mind galloping away and following from one thought to another as minds do, to gently nudge back and check in with your breath. And the way that you can do that is by asking the question, am I breathing? And I find throughout life, if I ask myself that question, it tends to make me check in that I am, and makes me focus just on that one thing. And even if that only lasts 2 seconds, 1 second, it means I've given my mind that rest to come back in. And if you keep practicing that, sometimes it gets longer and longer that you're able to just be in the moment. So if you do set an intention, anytime throughout the class that you notice your mind wandering, if you don't want to ask that am I breathing question, you can check back in with that intention. My intention last week and this week has been to be gentle. Just to be gentle. There's a bit of craziness going on, as we all know, and whether you agree with it or not, don't get caught up in it. Just be gentle with yourself. Be gentle. So from here, let's take our hands behind, fingertips pointing away, broaden through the chest, lift the collarbones, and that fleshy part here in front of between your shoulders and your chest, let's push that up towards the ceiling and really open and grow. Throughout the practice, try not to have an expectation of how you should feel or look in any poses. Just see what happens in each moment. and no judgment. If you're practicing with someone else, don't judge how they look and don't judge yourself either. Alright, let's release. Let's bring our legs in, have the feet wide, and then drop the knees side to side, a little bit of a rock. Side to side. How lucky are we that in this lockdown, we've got this platform that we can all still connect on. So us instructors feed on your feedback. So those comments, those likes, those loves, we love to see them. Constructive feedback is really good too. It means we can give you what you want. Okay, let's all make our way over onto our hands and knees. So if you've got socks on like me, take them off now. So set yourself on hands and knees. If you've got blocks, have them handy. They're just going to help us deepen our poses. And if you don't have blocks, they say Harry Potter Volume 5 is good size. So as you take a breath in, drop the belly, lift the crown of the head, lift the sit bones into your cow pose. As you let the breath go, stretch up into cat. Really release. Make these movements with your breath. So they don't have to be as I'm doing them. You might pause. I like to quite often pause in cat and swing a little, get some releases. You might even pause in cow. I like to do that and pull my collarbones forward as well. Just work with the breath. Feel the breath, feel the movement. This might be the first thing you've done today, or maybe you've got up and gone for a walk. Good on you. Maybe you've got the kids settled into homeschooling. Maybe you're doing this at a later time. Okay, let's tuck our toes and lift our sit bones up into our first downward facing dog. So your hands are roughly shoulder distance apart, feet are roughly hip distance apart. You can stay still or you can do a slow pedal like me where we bend one knee and lift the heel and then the other. Let your head hang through your arms. So give your head a bit of a shake. I know Mel had a mic on yesterday, but being that I'm going to hang upside down a bit, the mic could have ended up anywhere. So I won't be using it. Come up high on the balls of both feet. Drop your heels to the left, to the outer blade of the left foot, inner of the right. Come to the mat. Keep the hands strong, but push the mat away. Feel that twist, giving the head a shake and getting that release. Next time you breathe in, pivot up, drop the heels to the right, outer blade of right, inner of left. Still pushing the mat away, we're not dumping into our wrists. Got a real push away, a real engagement through the arms and upper shoulders and back. Come back up onto the balls of the feet, slow pedal, slow pedal. Come up high on the balls of both feet, knees bend, look to hands. Make your way up to the top of your mat to your forward fold. Release through the wrists a couple of times. Hands come to shins, next in breath, half lift. And release. Next breath in, sweep up really big. Take a breath in, catch your right wrist, pull up and over to the left. Big breath in through the middle, and let's go over, release through the sides of our trunk. Big breath in, arms wide, swan dive all the way forward, back to your forward fold. Half lift, and release, step back to your plank. Knees or toes here, broaden through the shoulder blades. Little scoot forward as you slowly lower your whole body to the mat. Elbows scrape body. Release toes. Keep the hands where they are. Just shine your heart forward. Just a little shining forward. And release back down. This time let's take hands off sides of the mat and come up like a cobra, like a snake. Breath in and breath out. Just come as high as feels comfortable. Let's do it again. Breath in and breath out. One more up, but we'll stay up. Stay up here. Light pressure on your fingertips. Turn a look over your right shoulder. Good. Back to the middle. Turn a look over your left. Back to the middle. Slowly lower back down. Hands under shoulders as you push back to your child's pose. Forehead rests down, arms reach forward. We're just pausing here. Big toes together, knees can be together or apart, but reach those arms. And then soften. Take one more breath. As you let it go, come up through your cat. Stretch through your cat. Reach the toes, lift to down dog. Walk it out. High on the balls of the feet, knees bend, look to hands, and make your way up to your forward fold. Release the wrists for a moment. Next in breath, half lift. And release. Sweep up, big breath in. Catch the right wrist, pull up and over. Up through the middle as you breathe in, up and over. Big breath in, arms wide, swan dive forward. Half lift. And release, step back to plank. If you've got a flow, so if you're regular at practicing yoga, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't, do what we did before. So it can be on toes like me or knees. And we do a little movement forward, elbows scrape as we come to whatever back bend suits you. So you can stay low like me. And then we'll re-tuck toes and meet back in our downward facing dog. In our down dog, we'll pause. Slow pedal. Head hanging through arms, broaden through the shoulder blades. Come up high, knees bend, look to hands. Make your way up to your forward fold. We're doing that one more time. Let's go half lift. And release, sweep up. Catch the wrist, up and over. Breath through the middle. And release. Breath through the middle. Swan dive forward. Half lift. And land. Step or jump back to plank. Take your flow or come with me. We do that little lowering and we lift to whatever back bend suits us. Low or high. We meet back in our downward facing dog. When you get to a down dog, stillness, movement, checking back in with your breath or your intention. And then maybe just to check in with the body that we're not dumping into wrists, we're pushing the mat away. We're rotating our upper arms in and under, broadening through the shoulder blades, giving the head a bit of a shake and a nod so that you know you are releasing there. And then we're going to lift our right leg. As long as you can, lift it up. Just when you think you've lifted it as high as you can probably lift it a little bit more. Keep pushing the mat away. Take a deep breath in. Float forward, knee to nose. Here you can touch. And then step your foot through. And if you have to help it there, help it by all means. Lower the back knee. Now this is where you could use blocks. If it's tricky to reach the floor, use them. If it's tricky to kneel, double the mat over. So you can fold it over underneath your knee. From here, with or without blocks, let's lengthen back. Flex the toes back. That's my matter. Flex the toes back. So if it's tricky, use your blocks, yeah? Get a stretch up through the back of this leg, folding over. Good, then walk the hands forward. Sweep the arms up. Now when we come up here, we tend to dump. Let's be tall and engaged. Let's not dump. Let's reach up. Take a breath. Catch the left wrist. Pull over to the right. Breath in through the middle. Right wrist pulls over to the left. Breath in through the middle. Hands sweep behind. Interlace. Draw them down. Engagement of the glutes. Open up through the chest. Remember those fleshy parts? Let's shine them up. Feel that opening. And big breath in up. Hands land. Lengthen through the back of that leg again. Fold over. Come forward. Arms sweep up again. Engage through the glutes. This time, let the left arm come behind and catch the left thigh. Reach the right arm up. Peel back. Look behind you if you can. Breath in. Come up with both hands again. This time we'll drop the right hand. A little bit of a twist as we catch the back of the left leg and peel back. Both arms come up. Hands land. Tuck toes. Lift the back knee. Step back into a plank. Option to take a flow. You do not have to. That's it. Lowering down through your chaturanga. Scooping to whatever back bend. Remember, we're all different. We meet back in our down dog and we pause. So at any time throughout the practice, you can pause me. You can sink into child's pose. There might be another pose that serves you better in that moment. So do it. The benefit with all these classes we're popping on our Facebook page, you can scroll back to any of them at any time, even the ones we did in our last lockdown. Okay, from here, left leg lifts this time, really long. Toes are trying to touch that ceiling, so stretch it longer. Just when you think you've got it at full length, it's probably got a bit more. Take a breath. Float forward, knee to nose, seating, touch them, and then step that foot through. Help it if you need to. Checking the ankle is under the knee. Lowering, remember the option to fold the mat. Remember the option of the blocks as well. Lengthen back, nose to toes. Feel that release. Come forward, sweep up. Catch the right wrist, pull over to the left. Engage the glutes, remember. Come up through the middle and we'll swap sides. Come up through the middle, arms sweep behind, interlace, draw them down, broaden through the chest, squeeze those shoulder blades together if you can. Like a pencil is squeezed between them. Is there such a word as squoze? I could make it, couldn't I? She squoze her shoulder blades together. Breath in, come up. Let's lengthen back, flex back, nose to toes. Feel that length up through the back of the hamstring of your front leg. If you're with me, it's your left. Come forward, arms sweep up. This time we drop the right arm to catch the back of the right leg. We reach over with the left. Then both arms come up. We drop the left arm to catch the back of the right leg. We reach over with the right. We're opening all parts of our legs at the moment. Both arms come up, hands land, tuck toes, lift knees, step back to plank. There's that yoga push-up again, that chaturanga. Remember, it's totally optional. Do what feels right for you. Back to our down dog. In our down dog is where we pause. Remembering you could use child's pose here or anything else. But what I do want you to do if you're in down dog is not to dump forward. I want you to push the mat away. Lift the sit bones. It's like you're trying to get your belly close to your thighs. Tilt those hips. Let your head hang. Give it a bit of a shake and a nod. Let's come up high in the balls of the feet. Pivot to the left again. Out of plank, left, inner of right. Lengthen through the side of your trunk. Keep pushing the mat away. Big breath in. Let's go the other way. Big breath in. High on your feet, knees bend. Make your way to the top of your mat. Whether you take 10 steps, 1 step or jump. Release the wrists. Give the head a bit of a shake. Half lift. And release. Sweep up really big, really big. Catch your right wrist, pull over. Breath in. Let's swap it over. Breath in, arm sweep really wide, interlace hands, draw them down. Now you're welcome to stay here. Maybe your hands don't quite interlace, which is fine. Stay here, or maybe you like to fold forward, letting your head hang, letting your arms come up as high as they can. And if they don't come up high at all, if it's more comfortable to let them go, or more comfortable to stay upright, that's fine. We're going to pause wherever you are for 3 breaths. And if you're with me, you're concentrating, of conscientiously releasing your head through your neck. Let's do 2 more breaths. Big breath in and out. Try not to just dump forward. 1 more. If you're with me, release hands. We'll meet back up in our Tadasana. So that's our standing pose. It's mountain pose. Let's all have our arms beside us, palms open to the front of your mat. So I know I'll turn to face you. But have your hands facing towards the front and your body to the short end of your mat. Spread the fingers. So the fingers are still a part of your body. Quite often in our practice, we kind of let them curl how mine are now. That's fine if we're relaxing, but when we're active, let's really activate through them and notice the energy, strong energy from our fingers to the earth and from the earth up through our feet, through our fingers. Little scan of the body, little check-in. Lift your kneecaps and thighs, but gently push your shins forward. Lift the arches of your feet. Imagine there's little ants or ladybirds there, but lift the outer arches too, so don't dump to the outer blades. Strong connection between the big toe, little toe, and the inner and outer edges of the heels and the floor. Eyes closed if you can, and you check back in with your breath and your intention. Let's notice the little swaying movements that naturally occur within our body. And any other movements that you're noticing in your body. Could be the beating of your heart, could be your breath, could be the feeling of clothes on your body. 2 more breaths here, everyone. Big breath in and out. 1 more. Gently open your eyes. Breath in. Let's reach up big. Swan dive forward. Half lift. Hands land. Step back to your plank. Option to take a flow or meet me straight back in your downward facing dog. So if you'd rather come straight back to down dog, let's meet there. Slow pedal when you get there. Right leg lifts, really long, really long. This time bend the knee and open the hip. So we're trying to get the right heel as close as possible to the left hip, pushing that away, squaring the shoulders, so we're not rotating around how I am now, we're squaring them. We're sinking that left heel down and we're shining our right kneecap up towards the sky. Take a big, big breath in, float forward, knee to nose, touch them, and then step your right foot through. Left hand stays firmly planted, block or floor, right hand reaches up. Take a breath, extend it to the ceiling, peel back. Maybe you pivot onto the outer blades of both feet here. So you've got to twist. Take a breath, come back. Hands to the floor. You can use your thigh or come straight up, and let's meet now crescent lunge. So tucking tailbone, tucking glutes, stretch up. Big breath in, bend both knees and elbows, breath out. And again, breath in, breath out. One more, big breath in, excuse my back. As we come round to our warrior two, adjust the feet. So I'm going to turn to face you. So your right foot is pointing to the short end of the mat, left foot is pointing to the long side. Right knee is on top of your right ankle, hips and shoulders face the long left side of your mat. Arms are long, eye gaze forward over that right hand. Let's reach, land our right elbow, sweep our left arm up and around, extended side angle, open up. Good. We're going to straighten the front leg and both arms along into our version of Trikonasana. Now, feet are probably a bit wide to what you would normally have, so feel free to adjust them, but we're not here long. Take a big breath in, keep the legs, bring the arms up, turn the feet, cactus the arms, sink into goddess. Breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out, fold forward, hands land, adjust the feet so they're parallel, so the edges of the mat, they're straight with that. Knees can bend as much as you need for hands to reach floor, and if that's tricky and you've got a block, a water bottle, a book, you could use that on any side. Let's fold, give the head a shake and a nod. And breathe. Now when we're in our wide-legged forward fold, try not to dump. Quite often we put all our weight back into our heels. We want the weight to be fairly even over the balls of our feet and our heels, while we lift the arches, the inner and outer edges of our feet. Keep on with the breath. Let's walk our hands to our left leg, our back leg. Turn, so we're now facing the other end of the mat. The left foot is at the front, what we're going to call the front of the mat now. So just listen to the left and right. So the left foot is now in front. Hands are down, we're going to step back to plank. Take a flow, so lowering down, scooping, and peeling back to down dog. From your down dog, knees bend, make your way to the back of the mat, which is now the front. Who's confused? Release. Half lift, and release. Sweep up really big. Hands float to heart center. Lift your left toes, ground them down, lift your right heel. We're coming into tree. So we're going to turn, I'll turn to face you. You keep facing the short end. Left foot is down, right heel is lifted. Try not to hook the hip out how I am now. Try and be tall. You can stay here in your tree, or maybe you push the foot into your inner calf or your inner thigh, just not your knee. Don't push it into your knee. Find a spot to look at. It's called finding your drishti, then grow your tree. Reach up big, soften through the shoulders. Take a breath in. See if you can bring the hand to the back of your skull. So I'll turn and show you. They're here. You're letting the weight of your head sit back into the hands, and this helps to open through your shoulders. So it can challenge your balance here, so you might keep toes on the floor like me, or maybe into calf. Keep using the breath. Release the hands, reach them up, unhook the foot, lift the knee in front into stalk. Take a breath in, arms and leg forward. Breath in. This time, arms forward, leg back, find your warrior three. Virabhadrasana 3, eye gaze is fixed on one spot. Take a big breath in, big step back. We'll be in our high lunge. So right foot is back, left foot is forward. In our high lunge again. Breath in, straighten everything. Remember the glutes. Breath out, bend everything. Breath in. Breath out. Hands land. Step back to plank. Take your flow. And lift back in our downward facing dog. So we're facing the back end of our mat. I know I've flipped around, but we're facing the back end of our mat. Use your breath. Left leg lifts, nice and long as you can. Keep pushing the mat away, bend the knee and open the hip. So we're doing our other leg now, left leg. Try to get that left heel as close as possible to the right hip. Take a big breath in. Float forward, knee to nose, so you can touch it. Then step it through, help it, help it. Right hand stays down, left hand reaches up. Take a breath, you can pivot onto the outer plates of both feet and maybe get a twist here. And then come back up and land. Use your leg, or maybe you can push up into crescent lunge. Breath in, come up, everything straightens, glutes are on, bend both elbows and knees. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in, and we open to our warrior two. So we're facing the back of our mat. Remember I've flipped, yeah? Let's reach, land the front elbow, sweep the back arm. Right arm is the top arm. And then we open to our Trikonasana. Lower arm is left, right arm is top. Legs are long, rotating, trying to stack shoulders and hips. Keep everything long, come up. Turn feet, heels in, toes out, sink into goddess. Breath in here, breath out here. Again, breath in and breath out. Fold forward, hands land, floor or blocks, straighten feet so they're parallel. Fold. This time, still knees bent. See if you can hold your ankles. And if you can't grab ankles, maybe grab calves or shins or knees, whatever you can. Use whatever you're holding onto as an anchor to pull yourself through, letting your head hang. Feel that length happening. Sit bones are lifting. Even pressure, remember, on the heels and the balls of the feet. Try not to dump back into the heels. Take one more breath. As you let it go, let the hands go. We're going to walk both hands over to our right leg. Grab the right ankle with both hands. Lift your body. Fold your body over the right leg. And if you can't reach ankle, that's okay. Might be up here. You might have knee bent. Fold over as much as you can. Getting that release and letting go. And then let's walk our hands over to our left leg and do the same. Lift the body. Fold the body over the left leg, hold on, folding over. Use your breath. Take one more in. And then walk the hands all the way to the right leg. We pivot and we're now facing the front of our mat again. We're in our low runner's lunge in the front of our mat. Hands land, we step back into plank. Option to take a flow. That's a yoga push-up. Meet back in our down dog. Remember when you come to down dog, good time to check in and pause. Maybe even sink into a child's pose if that works better. There's no judgment or expectation. Every moment is a different moment, and we're all different too. Come high on the balls of the feet, knees bend, look to hands, step or float to the top of your mat. So back at the top of our mat. Yes, I have flipped. Release the hands. Half lift and release. Come all the way up. Float the hands to heart center. We're coming straight into our tree. So we're going to lift the toes of our right foot, ground them down, lift the left heel, find tree. So try not to do this, instead of hooking out, try and be up tall. Grow like a tree. There's a, I forgot to bring my book of little quotes. There's a really nice poem about trees. So find your tree, whether you stay down here with me or whether you bring the foot to a higher position, just not on the side of your knee, don't push on your knee. And then grow your tree. You can stay at any spot with your hands. And if you want to, you can bring the hands behind, let the weight of the head drop back into those hands. Feel that opening through the shoulders. And that poem, it basically says, When a tree grows, it doesn't concern itself with other trees. It grows to its fullest potential, depending on the light, the sun, the water, yes, and the environment that it's in, but it doesn't compete with other trees. It doesn't look at another tree and think, oh, that tree's got big leaves, I want big leaves. Or that tree's got those flowers, I want those flowers. And when we go out and look at trees, we just look. We think, oh, that tree's grown like that because it didn't get enough sun, or it got sun that way, or the wind's blowing it a lot that way. And we don't compare or anything. And I reckon we should do that with humans. I do that now when I see people. It's like, oh, I try not to judge. It's really easy in our minds to go into that judging. The old judge a book by its cover, isn't it? Let's release arms up. Unhook the foot, lift the knee. I try not to judge. I try and just go, oh, yeah, whatever. Breath in and breath out, arms and leg forward. Breath in. Find your warrior three. Slide that leg back, reach those arms forward. Set your eye gaze. Square the hips. Push out through the heel. We've got this. Take a big long breath in and a big step back. Find your high lunge from here. Breath in, straighten everything. Glutes are engaged. Breath out as we bend elbows and knees. Breath in. Feel the shoulder blades when you bend those elbows. Engage your upper back. Let's do one more. Breath in and out. Hands land. Step back to plank. Option to take a flow. You do not have to do it. We'll meet back and out, downward facing dog. So yeah, I try and, if I find I'm in one of those judgy moods where I'm looking at people and kind of, oh gosh, and I think, hang on, if they were a tree, maybe they didn't get enough water at that right time, or maybe they're not getting enough fertiliser, or they've got shit stuff, or not good stuff, I mean. Who knows? Who are we to judge? It's all our own perception, isn't it? Come up high on the balls of the feet. Pivot the feet to the left, outer blade, inner blade of right. Breath in up through the middle. Outer blade of right, inner of left. Breath up through the middle. Sink to your knees. Find your child's pose. Big toes together, knees together or apart, arms forward for the moment. Each time you breathe in, feel a real broadening through the rib cage, through the belly. And then as you let the breath go, feel that area soften. Let's place left hand on the left edge of the mat, right hand on top, just on the edge of the mat, not right over here. Let's keep it there. But reach it as long as you can. Reach the right hand as long. See if you can sink the head between the arms and get that stretch, that length right down through the right side of your trunk. Take a breath. Go to the other side. Right hand on the edge, left hand on top as long as you can, and then sink down. Take a breath. Hands back. Let's come back up through our cat-cow. So drop the belly into cow as you take a breath in. Stretch the back to cat as you let the breath go. Tuck toes, lift up to down dog. High on the balls of the feet, knees bend, jump, or walk up to your forward fold, release wrists. Hands to shins, half lift. And release. Let's sweep up really big. Step your left foot back into a warrior one. So in warrior one, the right foot, the front foot faces the short end of the mat. The back foot's on a 45. It's a bit different to warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Out to the side a bit, and it's on that 45. It enables the hips to square a little bit more to the front of the mat. And if your hips stay here, that's okay. Maybe that's how they're structured. If they can turn, go for it. Taking the foot out to the side might help that. Let's reach up. Take a big breath in. Cactus those arms. Remember the glutes are engaged. Then reach up really big, forward, and find warrior three. Virabhadrasana 3. Floating the back leg up, softening through the shoulders. Take a breath, find your stalk pose. We did this before. Take a breath, release arms and leg forward. Breath in here, Find your tree. So we're going to grab that foot, bring it into maybe the inner thigh, maybe the inner calf, but not the knee, maybe toes stone floor. Float the arms up. I'm wobbling everywhere. Take a breath, twist to your right. Right arm back, left arm forward. Breath in, come up through the middle, twist to your left. Left arm back, right arm forward. Breath in, come up through the middle, release your foot back to stalk. Take a big step back to your high lunge. There was a little bit of a dancey flow, yeah? Breath in, come up, land into your warrior two. So now the back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Reach, flip, reverse your warrior. Your front knee stays bent. Then we're windmilling, hands are landing, step back, option to take a flow. If the flows are getting too much, give it a miss. From your down dog, we pause again. Come up high, knees bend, step or jump to the top of your mat, releasing the wrists. Yeah, so when we walk through the forest or the bush, not very often, I don't think, that we would look at a tree and be critical of it, is it? We just go, oh, yeah, that's how that tree grew, and it's probably for whatever reason, or maybe we don't even think a reason, maybe we just observe. Maybe we should start doing that with a lot more things in our life, yeah? A lot of judgment in all of our lives, I think. Let's go half lift and release. As you sweep hands up, right leg steps back. Warrior one, so on the other side. Big breath in, cactus the arms, glutes engage. Breath in, arms forward, back leg floats up. Warrior three. Big breath in, find your stalk pose. Then find your tree. Bring that right foot in, maybe it's in the inner calf, maybe it's in the inner thigh, or toes on floor. Arms up, breath in, turn to the left, left arm back, right forward. Breath in, turn to the right. Keep fixing your eye gaze on one spot. Breath in, unhook the foot, warrior three, land back into your high lunge, open to warrior two. Reach forward, flip, reverse your warrior. You know, I laugh at myself, the different little mistakes I find I make. Windmill, option to take your flow. You do not have to. Maybe you're saying, you know what, I haven't done much since March when this new world started. Maybe you're saying, I need to have a break. That's fine. Sink into child's pose and pause. We've got one more big exciting thing before we start to wind down, yeah? So knowing that you are able to have a break whenever you want to. Grab a drink, whatever you need, do it, yeah? If you're with me, we're just sinking back into our child's pose. We're checking back in with that intention. We're checking out how many layers of clothing we have on. No, we're not. We're just letting ourselves come back into our space. When you're doing this, consciously soften any parts of your body that you notice are maybe a bit tight and tense. Could be around your eyes, could be your nose, could be the jaw, could be any part, the neck, the shoulders, could be your little toe. Let's take 2 more in and out breaths here. Big breath in. Sigh it out through the mouth if you want, or let it go through the nose. 1 more breath in. And when you're ready to let that breath go, stretch it up through your cat. Tuck toes, lift to down dog. All right, so we'll see how we go. So staying the way you are, so that I can face you. I'm using my stronger arm, I'm going to turn this way. Stay in your down dog, but bring your feet together. So that's confusing me, flipping, isn't it? I'll do that better next time. From here, we're going to float forward to a plank. Pivot onto the outer blade of your left. Now, options here, this is where we start playing around. Maybe your feet can stack, maybe you stagger, that's how I am. But I want you to check the position of your left hand. Have it slightly forward, not a long way, but just so that it feels strong. And remember that pushing away of the mat, we're doing that. Then see if you can float the right arm up. Now, if this is tricky, You could have the left knee down how I am now, yeah. So I know we'll have lots of different levels of experience in yoga on the page. So from here, see how I go, maybe the feet stack, maybe you come into a tree pose here, and this doesn't matter if the toes are lightly touching the knee now, as long as it's light. Take a big breath in, and then slowly rotate. Everybody can do this. Back to our plank. Maybe take a flow, maybe you sink into child, but let's all leaning down dog eventually, and then when you're ready, go to the other side. Feet come in a little bit, float forward, pivot onto the outer blade of the right. Maybe you stay here, pushing that mat away. Maybe you can stagger feet, arm, tree, lifting that lower hip. Take a couple of breaths wherever you are, then slowly rotate around. Option to take a flow. And maybe, like there you go, oh, that's it, child's pose. So when I go to classes, if we do something that we don't do a lot, and we only get to do it once, I'm usually like, now I know what's going on, I want to try it again. So I'm going to give you time now to try it again while I hang in child's, or watch you. I can't see you, but I'm watching you. So if you're like, you know, I'm not going to do it again today, that's okay, hang in child's. You can either have the hands stacked, they might reach back, forward, whatever works. Or try it again in a different way. Maybe you want to do it on knee this time, on your knee, or maybe you want to float the leg up and do a bit of a Jane Fonda move. So for the young people, Jane Fonda isn't only from Grace and Frankie. Look her up. Have a go, and if you do come to that side tree, side plank tree, I can't remember the name of it, try to do the flow in between. Builds that upper body strength, and remember, pushing the mat away. Don't dump, let's push the mat away. Think of that, and engage the muscles to push away. Once you've finished, again, if you've had a play, let's all meet in child's pose. I think that's nearly enough time for you to have had a play. I think I've filled the gap with talking. Let's sink here. Any version for your arms, and if child's pose isn't comfortable, feel free to sit. And let's just stay where we are for 5 deliberate in and out breaths. Last breath in, last breath out. Make your way onto your knees. Let's have hips on top of knees, reach the arms further forward. We're coming into what we call Anatasana, heart melting pose. So your body will stick up in the air, you'll get a back bend, and your chest melts towards the floor. Now, there's lots of variations here. So think of the name, it's Anatasana or heart melting. So a melting or melting heart, melting the chest area towards the mat. Now, if it's tricky to reach your forehead to the mat, and you've got a block, a book, a pillow, anything, pop it underneath so that your forehead can rest here. This might be enough for you. You might be up higher. Rest your forehead on something, don't just have your head hanging. If you've got quite a lot of movement in your shoulders, you could come all the way down how I am, or if your neck feels comfortable, you might be able to rest the chin and look between your hands. You can see a big back bend, a big sway back here. So we're releasing through the shoulders, and we're bending our back another way. We've done a lot of forward folding today, so it's nice to do this the other way. Let's sink and breathe. We're hanging here for 3 more breaths, everyone. Breath in, breath out. When you're ready to come out, knowing the number that I say is just a guide, you can come out sooner, I want you just to slide onto your belly. Slide onto your belly. Stack your hands, maybe rock the hips side to side. Getting a release. And then just let the feet fall, let the forehead rest. I like to call this reverse shavasana. Feel the floor underneath you as you breathe into your belly. And feel the softening as you breathe out. And then if you'd like to, you could bend your knees up how I am, and it's nice to gently rock the legs side to side just to release. If there's any parts in the hips and the back. Nice and easy. And we'll make our way over onto our back. So let's roll over onto our back. Doesn't matter which way you face, so you can flip yourself, if that works better. If you've got a block or a cushion, book, have it handy. Bend the knees, feet underneath knees, knees are roughly hip distance apart. Lift your hips with the block. We can slide that underneath, it's kind of the lower back area, just above the tailbone there. And let the hips rest down. Now I've used the block, so if you've got a block, there's 3 heights. So 1, 2, 3. At this stage, I would only use the first or second height, yeah? Just for the moment, before we do something else. Rest the hips down. Now this might be enough for you. You might like to extend the legs out long, gives you a bit more of a back bend again, and it opens a bit deeper through here, through our front of our hips. There's a little bit of stuff inside too. Arms rest wherever they're comfortable. And let's just hang here in this supported bridge or pontoon. It's got many different names. It's a thing, lots of things with many different names. So it's really important, these times of rest and pause in your practice are as important as the movement, if not more important. A lot of people I know go to classes, and in a yoga studio you would not leave before the end of class, but quite often in a gym setting might leave before the relaxation, the shavasana. And it's a real shame because it's a real resetting for your body. It's time for your body to just be after doing those movements, and to almost recalibrate and let the fluids flow and pause. And I think, and it is said to be the most important part of any practice, the real being, the real stopping and being. I think if we've learned anything from these last few months, maybe it's the need to stop and be. The noticing of the dandelions, the noticing of the ladybirds. From here, you could stay here. You could come back to bent knees if you had legs straight. You're welcome to extend the legs to the ceiling. For Paritta Karani, this is an inversion. It's a great way to rejuvenate your legs, but at the same time, it's really nice to do before you go to bed at night as well. Just lifting your hips that little bit with a block, or if you don't have something, you could stack your hands underneath your lower back. It just gives the hips that bit of a tilt, the pelvis that tilt, so it could be like this. If you've got a bolster, you're welcome to use that, and this is really nice against the wall as well. I do this quite a lot on one of those Shakti mats, you know, those mats with all the spikes. Like, it reminds me of Uncle Festa, if you were my age and you remember the Addams family. Once you're in position, once again, see if you can close down your eyes and let yourself just be in this space, be in this breath, be in your intention. And each time you notice, even if you are thinking about your intention and you start to follow from your intention to thoughts, just nudge back to that breath, even if it's for a split second where it means you come back and pause in the breath. I've heard it be called presencing, where you just keep nudging yourself back, presencing. Let's stay here for 3 more breaths, knowing it's always a guide. If this gets too much, which it can be quite strong in the hamstrings for some people, feel free to bring the legs down sooner. When you're ready, gently bring the legs down, and we'll gently remove the block. Lower the hips, have the feet mat width, drop the knees side to side. Just a real gentle unwinding, side to side. Eventually letting your legs drop towards the left. When you let the legs drop to the left, consciously draw the right knee down in towards the mat and floor. It might not get there, but just consciously engage and like you're trying to pull it down. Not pain, you don't want pain, but a deep release, a deep opening. Now arms, sometimes I like to diamond my hands over my belly. Sometimes they're out wide or even into cactus. We let the backs of the hands rest down. Elbows come straight out from your shoulders. Backs of the hands rest down on the mat floor. It's a gentle opening for the shoulders as well. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly bring the legs up to the centre. Maybe drop side to side, just once each side, before letting them drop. So the other side, if you're with me, that's your right. We'll draw that left knee down this time. Concentrate on drawing the left knee down. Head position is entirely up to you. I like to keep mine neutral. Some people like to turn it to one side or the other. Same with the arm position, as I said before, that's up to you. Feel that nice release and opening, especially down through the left thigh and up through the front of the left hip. Two more breaths here. Feel that breath in. Feel that breath out. Remember, presence in, coming back to the present moment. And really the present moment is all we've got. Because even if you're thinking of the past, you're thinking of the past in the present. And if you're thinking of the future, you're thinking of the future in the present. Gently come back to centre, maybe rock side to side again. And let's find a happy baby. So feet come up, bring the hands maybe up through the inside of the thighs and see if you can wrap them to grab the outer blades of your feet. If that's a bit tricky, you might be here, grabbing the back of your thighs or the back of your calves. Once you've got hold of whatever part, let's try to pull the knees in towards the armpits and lengthen the tailbone down as long as you can. So some people's tailbones curl a long way up, and that's fine. Just go to what feels right for you. You might stay still. I feel like staying still today. Usually I'm rocking and rolling. So usually I'm rolling one side, tap the foot up and over to the other side. So whatever works right. Soften through the neck and shoulders and breathe. Remember, the being is as, if not more, important than the doing. And we are human beings, aren't we? We're not human doings. Let the weight of your head really fall back into the mat. Consciously let it go. If that's tricky, you could slide a pillow. So if your head is up here, you could slide a pillow or a block or something underneath. But I want you to have no effort in your neck. So soften through the neck and shoulders. And then let's bring the soles of our feet together. And remember where we started. We started in seated star. In Baddha Konasana. Now we're in Supta Baddha Konasana. We're reclining down angle pose. Soles of the feet together, knees splaying out, we're lying back. Now that's tricky with your knees. If that feels too deep and opening, crossing your ankles can be a nice bit of support. Or if you've got blocks, resting them on the outside of the legs. Arms, same as before. Maybe diamond shape, maybe here, maybe cactus. Or this one I like to do is I like to come into full extension. In body balance, it's called extended butterfly, where you hold the opposite elbow with the opposite hand, but it's a full extension of our Supta Baddha Konasana, and we let the arms rest back. Once again, no effort in the neck, so if your head doesn't rest back, pull a block, a book, a cushion, close down your eyes, come back into your breath again, come back into presencing, back into the presence. Three more breaths here, knowing that's always a guide. You can always come out sooner. From here, we're going to come into our Shavasana. So when you're ready, extend the legs long, arms either by your side or wherever they're comfortable. Make sure you're warm. So if you've got a blanket nearby, a scarf, anything at all, make yourself comfortable. Close down your eyes. Lying down is the best position, if there is a best position. It just means you let yourself fully surrender. You can lie on your side, but then come back into your intention. Come back to your breath, whatever is serving or working for you today. Once you've found that shape, take 3 deliberate in and out breaths, where you let yourself, each time you let the breath go, let go of something else. So if you've had some annoyed thoughts, or you've had some frustrated thoughts, or whatever it is, whether it's homeschooling, whether it's partner at home working with you, whether it's a frustration of not being able to go out for dinner, whatever it is, each time you take a breath in, think of it, but just think of it as in an observing way, and then let it go. Let it go. There's nothing you can do about it, is there? Possibly. Or if there is, embrace what you can do about it and try and flip it. We don't have the power sometimes to control what's happening, but we certainly have the power to control how we react. So each time you breathe in, let something go as you let the breath go. As you're lying, start to become aware of the position of your body. Notice the position, if you're lying on your back, of your head in relation to your neck and spine. And then bring some gentle movement. Maybe your toes wriggle, maybe you let your thumbs skim across the tips of your fingers. Anything. You might start to move your jaw, your head. Then eventually roll to one side and come to a seated position. Try to keep a bit internal still, so if you're practicing with other people or you've got pets or things around you, closing your eyes will help you maybe not be distracted by seeing them. When you come to sit, sit however you're comfortable. It does not have to be cross-legged. But what I do want you to do is to find that position of your head once again in relation to your neck and spine, just like you had it when you were lying on your back. And then sit evenly on your sit bones, so even if there's a bit of a rock for that to happen. Maybe open and close the mouth or move the jaw a few times. Bring the palms together. Lightly let your thumbs touch the centre of your chest. And I know I say it a lot in my classes, but I want you every day to consciously check in with yourself and just say, how you doing? How you doing? Don't have any judgment, just like when you look at a tree, no judgment. You might look at a tree and admire it, No judgment. No judgment. It is what it is. Do that with yourself, remembering you have the power to control how you react. Thank you so much for joining me, whether it's live or whether it's at a later stage. Like I said at the start, for those that have just jumped in halfway or whatever, we love feedback. That's what instructors thrive on. So feel free to pop it in the comments or send it privately to the page. Yeah, we're in it together. We've got these classes scheduled at these times just because then we've got somebody in the centre. I know some people have said, oh, can't we do night time? This is when someone's at the centre. You can pull these classes up at any time. And yeah, so do that. This could be a nighttime class. The 2 classes yesterday by Leanne and Mel, they can be an anytime class. Nighttime, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If you can't sleep, 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that's the benefit of this platform. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for your support. Can't wait to have live bodies back in class. It's really lonely here. Namaste. Stay strong, stay safe.